There's always something. There it is.
Back home media.
Bring them out, bring them out. 3, 2, bring them out, bring them out.
Hello, we're back.
What up?
Welcome to Easy Out Podcast, you guys. This is brought to you by Back Home Media, and it is a Fat Kid production. We've got a huge show for y'all tonight. We have our guest, Erin Nash. She's going to be on here with us later. We're going to be talking about mental health in baseball, something I think a lot of people overlook. It's going to be really great. So, good evening, Inky. Inky is here with us. You guys share the show, retweet it, share it on Facebook, whatever platform you're watching on. Let's get some people in here. Let's hang out tonight. First things first, normally we start off with COVID news, but Nick Markakis, who just opted back in for the Braves, just walked them off with a solo home run for a win. So we got to take a second and celebrate that first. How we feeling about cakes now, everybody?
I've been telling everybody it's awesome to have him back. I said it yesterday. You'll see him in the 5-hole. He didn't play last night. Snicker puts him in the 5-hole tonight. What happens? He walks it off in the 9th inning. Let's fucking go.
That's how it works. I'm here for it. I'm always here for Nick Markakis. I know Josh Brown's having a great night. He's got to be real happy about that shit. So now that we've celebrated that, let's get right into the COVID news and get the boring bummer stuff out of the way. Now, the Marlins are playing again. The Marlins are 5-1, which is a very strange world to be living in. First in the NL East. And now we've got the Cardinals with their little outbreak. 13 positive tests, several of them players, several of their games postponed, new protocols put in place because of all of this. The biggest thing being a warning that you may possibly be banned for the rest of the season if you violate protocol. What are our thoughts there?
There shouldn't be any possibility to it. If you're going out, if you're doing shit that you shouldn't be doing, it's obvious you don't want to play baseball this year. So fuck you. Come back and try again next year. You shouldn't be allowed to play the rest of the year.
I absolutely agree. I feel like there should have been punishment for the teams that have caused all this trouble thus far. I feel like players from the Marlins that violated protocol. And I'm sorry, I don't give a crap what Derek Jeter says. Those guys were not just going out for milk.
No,
I don't believe that.
You're a Major League Baseball player. You have people that go do shit like that for you. You're not leaving your hotel to go get milk. He's a fucking loser.
And then there's the rumor that the Cardinals were in the casino. That hasn't been verified.
I thought that was verified.
Was it the owner or the GM that said that he thought it was sickening that people wanted to know where they got it at? How is that sickening? Players that are following the protocols deserve to know. People that are, look what you're causing for the league. People deserve to know.
Outside of the Marlins and the Cardinals, there's 28 other teams that would like to know, what are y'all doing? Why are you doing this? We're not doing this. We haven't had any positive tests. You know?
There's been I haven't seen anybody else testing positive. It hasn't made the news anyway. If it is, it's like maybe one guy here, one guy there. There haven't been any outbreaks on other teams. If you're following the protocols, good on you. If you're not following the protocols, fuck you. You should be sat for the rest of the season, and that's just how it should be.
Absolutely.
So, some other COVID-related stuff. Lorenzo Cain opting out.
Yeah, I saw where they said the Brewers president said, our baseball operations said that he didn't really give them a reason why he opted out, but he felt like he'd been talking to his family and that the shit that's come out with the Cardinals and the Marlins pretty much made up Lorenzo Cain's mind. And he just said, this isn't worth it this season.
And I can totally understand that. And, good on it. I get it. I would be worried if I were him because, the Brewers were kind of right in the middle of all of that with the series that were coming up for them. He at least let everybody know where he was going, unlike our good friend, Yoenis Cespedes.
Hey, when I typed my notes up for today, I titled this section, Yoenis says adios, motherfuckers, to the Mets.
He did. He didn't say a word about it. They went to check his room. He's not there. Nobody knows where he's at.
Downtown Atlanta.
Yeah. Starting 9 posted a picture of him chilling at the mall. Like, didn't say a word to anybody. Halfway through the game, his agent lets them know, hey, he's opting out for COVID concerns. If you have COVID concerns, you are not at the mall shopping. So I call bullshit.
And here's the thing. If he was going to opt out, it would be as easy as that. He'd opt out. They literally posted during the game against the Braves that they did not know the whereabouts of Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, they had no idea where he was. They said they didn't have a reason to believe he was in danger, but you never know. What's up, Chop on Bobbles?
Hey, I've got to shout out to him real quick. That's my buddy Mitch at Chop on Bobbles on Twitter.
Hey, Mitch.
He sent me a bunch of free beer this week, so.
You shouldn't tell people you're sending beer in the mail.
He didn't send it to me in the mail. He emailed it to me. It's different.
We haven't lost in over a week. Come on.
You haven't played in over a week, so.
Y'all almost got the season canceled for everybody, so we're not happy with you right now. Let's see. Inky says hi. Megan says yes. Inky says good advice, Cape. I love you. Mike Moranti says your facts. Daughtry88, is that how you said? Did I just butcher your name? We got the hand claps going there. We've got, what else we have? We got somebody's flexing on us over here in the chat. Sweet Peaches 86. What does that say? I can't even see it. Well played.
Who the hell are all these people? I'm about it.
We got all kinds of new people popping up over here. We're glad to have you guys joining the show tonight. That's it for the comments for right now. We're good. Let's see. Mitch says they lied about all that, I think. Mitch, you think they knew where he was at the whole time? Is that what you're saying? Let us know in the comments there. Reese Tate says, glad Cape found some sleeves. Shelby Hanneman says, howdy, you guys are awesome. We appreciate that, guys. We love everybody joining us. We want to keep those comments coming throughout the show. So we've talked about Cespedes. We have talked about Kane opting out. There's another name that I noticed on the injured list this week, and that's Yonder Alonso. Did he opt out?
Yeah.
Because he's on the restricted, so he did opt out. Okay,
yeah,
Yonder Alonso's out for the Braves.
When you sent me the notes today, all I read was Alonso. That's all you put.
Oh, you thought Pete?
I was like, no fucking way. Pete Alonso also does not want to play for the Mets this year and opted out.
Who would want to play for the Mets this year?
Who would want to play for the Mets in any year? I mean.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, shout out to Joe Seppi.
Shout out, Joe. We love you. So we've got, let's see, injuries. Let's go on. I just brought up the restricted list and the injured list. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Oh, bad one for us.
Yeah.
Mike Soroka out for the year. That was, I didn't even pull the video for that.
Nah, there's no.
Because it was just disgusting. Like I don't think I could watch that at all. It was just gross.
Yeah, it's devastating for a young Braves team, that have hopes for this season. You've already had Cole Hamels, who's not going to be available to September. You have Felix Hernandez, who's opted out. You have Faulty, who got DFA'd. That leaves you really Max Fried and Mike Soroka and question marks after that. Now with Soroka gone, you're trying to fill 4 rotation spots.
We have Max Fried. Tukey Toussaint has looked very good. Pitched 6 very strong innings tonight. Yeah. So hopefully, and I love him as a starter. I think we've had him in the wrong, and you've been saying that too, that he's been in the wrong role this whole time. Hopefully he's found his niche. Hopefully they keep him there. I think he's great. Yeah,
the way he pitched tonight, if he can throw all 4 of his pitches for strikes like he was tonight, he's a monster.
Oh yeah.
He can't eliminate any pitch when he's throwing all 4 of them for strikes. I love that kid. I've been saying since day one he needed to be a starter. He's just never been given the chance. They would always pull him up, let him start one game, then send him back to Gwinnett. So I really hope he gets a shot. I think
it'd be great if they can at least lock down that third spot. Of course, they've got Newcomb holding down another spot as well. He still seems a little bit shaky, but I mean, there's some hope there.
Yeah.
That, if Newcomb can get it locked in and Tukey keeps performing like he is, then you're back up to 3 starters. You just have to fill those 2 spots for the rest of the season. Hamels will rejoin in September. Fingers crossed that happens. Let's hope nothing else bad happens to him.
And then you've got Kyle Wright, and then also I think the next call-up will be Bryce Wilson. That'll probably be your 5th starter for now.
I think so. I think that's who we're going to see this week. We don't know. The Braves have got, it's kind of been a shitty week for the Braves injury-wise. They've also got Ozzy Albies on the DL, or IL. My bad. Yeah. My bad. Whew. My bad.
You can't be saying that shit, Sarah.
Woo! That's like the worst thing you can say anymore. On the IL with a wrist problem. He is on the 10-day, and then they'll reevaluate. Adams, Big City, is on the injured list as well.
Yeah.
Soroka, of course. Pache is still on. Not that he's really even officially, he hasn't been called up. So I don't really technically consider him on the injured list. He's just still down there doing his thing.
Hey, you want a little secret?
What?
Wait till the minute he comes off that IL and Gwinnett.
Yeah, he's probably, I think he's got a spot. I think he'll be here.
I think he's coming.
We've got, Scherzer came out after 1 inning with a hamstring issue. So I think is he day-to-day, or did they go ahead and 10-day him?
When I looked earlier, he was day-to-day.
That's what I had seen too.
Yeah.
We've also got Tim Anderson with a groin issue. That can't be too comfortable. Moustakas with the quad injury, he's day-to-day. So, he could be back at any point in time. The Astros put Michael Brantley on the IL with a quad issue. Verlander is still out. Of course, he's supposed to be reevaluated pretty soon. So we should know something about what's going on with him. Mookie Betts with the finger injury. Ryan Braun is still on the injured list. Josh Donaldson is on the IL. I think it was calf tightness or something. He may be day-to-day.
Yeah.
But
wait, what's wrong with Ryan Braun? What's wrong with Ryan Braun?
I had it written down earlier and now I don't have it anymore. I think it was like a quad, or there's a lot of quad and hamstring injuries, and I think that part of that is just not having a lot of prep time.
Yeah. Oh no, I completely agree.
I think just with the way the season is going, you're going to see a lot of guys that are going to go down for short periods of time with muscle strains, muscle pulls, stuff like that. But the Donaldson injury, that kind of makes me, I'm sure that the people that are out there saying, I'm so glad that we didn't sign him back, are probably laughing at me, who is still very sad about it because he's injured already right at the start of the season. I don't care. Go ahead and laugh all you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Have we never talked about this?
Huh?
We've never talked about this? You wanted to sign him back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We never talked about that.
Yeah, no.
I'd have given him another 1-year deal. I would have given him a fucking
I don't think I wouldn't have given him 4 or 5 years like he got with Minnesota. So whatever he got, that I was like, good for him. That's what he needs. I would have given him 1, maybe 2.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I agree with you on that.
But
I think AA Alex Anthopoulos has done a fantastic job with the pickup of Marcell Ozuna. He really has come right in and picked up the slack that we would have lost from JD. So
yeah, and my guy that's on my background tonight has done a wonderful job. Loving that guy. Definitely loving that guy. I know he's not watching, but still shout out to him for shouting out my kid. That was super cool of him.
That was awesome.
It's a good guy. Good guy. Glad to have him aboard. So what else do we got? We got some more comments over here. Holy cow, you guys are on it tonight. I love this. How about Nick opting in and boom, we already talked about that. You're behind. Why were you late to the show? Come on now, Skeeter.
Just like a Braves game, you got to be here on time. You never know.
You have to be here on time or you miss the news. Let's see. Mets suck eternally. I am not sorry. Inky, we love you. We really love you. Worse than Alex Smith? Happy belated birthday, Soroka. He and Emma have the same birthday. Oh, it makes me sad that his birthday was right after all of that happened.
The day after.
Yeah.
Like he had to go to sleep with a fucked up Achilles, wake up the next morning, and be like, oh shit,
Happy
I'm
birthday.
23 today. This sucks.
Yeah, that's no fun. Blair says Newcomb shows promise. Think they trade for another starting pitcher. Can't count on Cole. I would love to see a trade.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. I would love to see a trade, and I think a trade could happen. The only way they're going to trade anybody, though, is if it's someone under club control for more than just this year. They're not going to trade for someone on an expiring contract in a fucking 60-game season. They're just not going to do it. AA's shown time and time again he's not going to do that. So,
yeah. AA is a big fan of the 1-year deal himself, but he doesn't like to trade for guys that are on 1-year deals.
No.
Brantley is the DH tonight. Okay, so I did see that he was day-to-day. So Brantley's DHing, so that's good. That's a good sign for him. Donaldson's been day-to-day since last Friday with a calf injury. That is what I had seen on there as well. So that sucks for him. I mean, that's all I can really say is it sucks for Josh Donaldson to already be on the injured list because I was really hoping for a big year from him.
What was it with Donaldson? I know you said it already.
Calf tightness. Like he's pulled something strange. It's the same thing he always has. It's his calf.
It's like his whole career. So.
Oh yeah, he's had trouble with that forever. He's having it again. Hate to see it. Really do hate to see it. I was hoping for another strong year. Another injury and we just talked about him. Shohei Ohtani will not pitch again this year. Even though he's not pitching, he's still hitting home runs.
Yeah. He went Oppo Taco with basically one arm today.
That's a strong dude. Like,
yeah.
Use him wherever you can use him. I'm sad we won't get to see him pitch. I was hoping that he was going to come back strong from that, but it has not happened so far. Let him keep DHing. I mean, I guess it is what it is on that.
Yeah, I wanted him to come back and pitch. I mean, he's the modern day Asian Babe Ruth. It is fucking awesome. Like, seeing a dude pitch every 5 days and then also go yickety every chance he gets. It was awesome. So I hate it for the guy, but
I mean, it's a bummer, but at least he's still, I'm just glad that it didn't take him out completely for the season.
Yeah. That's what he did last season too. I mean, he still hit last season too, so but just didn't pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of scary to have that kind of, especially with it being like a forearm injury. How's that going to affect your hitting? And he showed us today it's not going to affect him at all.
No, dude, I'll go Oppo Taco for like 440. What's up?
If you can do it, you can do it. Like, get on it, buddy. Like, I'm really happy to see that he's not having that much trouble. Are there any other big injuries? Is that all we've got as far as big injuries goes? I think that's all I saw.
Did we really talk about Scherzer? We touched on it. Did we talk about it? We
touched on it. We haven't really talked about it a whole lot. Hamstring injury.
Yeah, it's a hamstring, but a lot of people were saying his velo was down, and I looked today and I didn't see if it was the hamstring on his drive leg. Because if it was his drive leg, that would
explain the velocity issue. Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. They didn't say what leg it was, so
I hope that it's for him. I hope it's nothing serious. As a Braves fan, you don't want it to be a serious injury.
Yeah, you don't.
You kind of love to see it.
I was about to say, I don't know that I mean, it's hard to remember Scherzer throwing 27 pitches and giving up a run and leaving the game in the first inning. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. So hopefully speedy recovery to all of those guys, especially Andrelton Simmons. Good grief, I can't talk tonight. Hopefully he comes back from his ankle injury fast because, buddy, you're sitting on my fantasy roster and you're just not doing me any good right now. Need them points. Rich Hill. I've had a sketchy knee day today. Reese Tate has a sketchy knee. Day-to-day injury for him. Best team you've seen so far. Who's the best team you think so far? We're going to talk about this more later, but let's throw it out real quick.
It's the Yankees.
It's the Yankees?
Yeah. The Yankees are the most complete team I've seen so far.
You know who I've been really surprised by is the A's.
Oh, yeah.
I think the A's look very solid this season. I mean, I'm here for it. 2 walk-off grand slams for the A's this year.
The A's have got as many walk-off grand slam wins as the Phillies and the Cardinals have wins, period. That's a real stat. I looked it up right before the show went live, just so I didn't sound stupid when I said it on air.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
Things you hate to see, not that.
Not that.
Well, Cape, do you need a quick break?
Yeah, I'll take a break real quick.
Okay. While Cape is taking a break, I am going to introduce you guys to our interview here in just a second. First, though, if you are enjoying the show, you like what we're doing, like what you're seeing here, please go to easyout.com or patreon.com/easyoutpodcast and give us some support over there. We've got some really cool exclusive merchandise for you guys. We definitely appreciate your love. We've got t-shirts, stickers for the different tiers over on Patreon. So make sure you go check that out. There'll be a lot of exclusive content coming your way through there. We'll be doing a lot of one-on-one videos, monthly AMAs, lots of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So if you like what we're doing, go check that out. And now, please allow me to present to you our wonderful guest, Miss Erin Nash. Erin is with the 643 Media. How you doing tonight, Erin?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We're waiting on Cape to get back here. But Erin, while we're waiting on Cape, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with 643 Media?
So the whole goal of the website is to bring awareness to mental health within sports. I think that it's something that is overlooked a lot. I think, while mental health is being more normalized in everyday society, when you think about athletes, you don't necessarily think about them beyond what they do on the court or on the field or whatever. So the whole goal, while talking about other stuff too, is just to kind of bring awareness to the fact that, hey, they're human beings.
Absolutely. So, I love what you're doing. I try to read everything as often as I can. I know there's a lot of times where I'll sit down to read something that you've posted and I get distracted. And then 2 days later, I'm like, I got to go finish that. But I love that you're giving this a spotlight and giving it a platform, because I think, especially in this season, it's been a big deal. These guys, especially do you feel like the guys that are breaking protocol, maybe they just can't be cooped up anymore? They just have to get out?
I think that could be part of it. You get cabin fever. We've all been quarantined for however long since coronavirus hit. And, I've gotten cabin fever. I can only imagine what it's like for these players. And, baseball hasn't done the best job with a bubble, so that there's not so many outbreaks, there's, more contact with the outside world. But I mean, you think about NBA players, they're literally in a bubble. They are all in one place, hotel rooms, to the courts. That's all they do. No contact with anybody else except for players, coaches, and the people kind of on the outskirts. So yeah, I mean, being put in a bubble and kind of being told you can only do this, this, and this, it's bound to mess with your head a little bit.
I mean, we've got these are young guys. These aren't people that they want to get out and they want to do stuff. They're experiencing kind of a next level thing in their lives for the first time. And you're telling them, you stay put. I don't know about anybody else, but when I was the age of some of these players, if you would have said, you don't leave that hotel room unless you're going to the ballpark, I would have been like, watch me.
Yeah, I'd have left immediately.
Yep.
I
would have crawled out the window.
Yeah. Which is funny. I was going to touch on this. It is kind of funny that they have hall monitors for grown men now.
Yeah.
It's like when you were in summer camp.
The summer camp, yeah.
And they would tape the doors so that they would know if you tried to leave.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We would go that's a high school thing to me. We would go on trips in high school and they would do that. They would put tape on our doors so they could tell if we left. We learned how to get around it. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be people that are still going to try to get around it. I mean, I hope that the looming possibility of not being able to play for the rest of the season is something that discourages that. But, do you feel obviously during negotiations and things like that, while we were all shut down, there was a lot of just shut up and go play. Just shut up and go play. And it was making me mad. Like just reading these people that are on here, treating these guys like, I mean, yes, their job is to play a game and to entertain people, but treating them like they are nothing more than like a video game almost, kind of is what it felt like to me. Do you feel like that is amplified in this season, that they're being treated more like entertainers than people, or do you feel like it's kind of been the same just across the board for years?
I mean, I obviously think it's amplified a little bit more this season just because while we've all been cooped up at home as sports fans, one of the things that we really kind of grasp and want to hold on to, that's our sports. I know for me personally, baseball is one of my like saving graces for a good majority of the year. And as fans, I think it's kind of hard to separate the fact that, hey, these guys are actually human beings. A lot of them have wives and kids and older relatives that, live at their house, like Freddie Freeman. I don't know if it's his aunt or his wife's. I'm not really sure, but she lives with them, and Freddie got COVID and she got COVID. And there's a lot of unknowns within it. And I think that the whole shut up and play, you have a responsibility to the fans. I honestly think it's crap. Because while they have a responsibility and they have a duty, essentially, it shouldn't be at the sake of their own health.
Yeah, exactly. And, and I think, the argument that they get paid so much money already, they should just take the pay cut and go out there. I mean, they're traveling all over the country. Cape can kind of chime in on that part of things. He's had to travel. He travels for work as well.
One thing I was going to say and ask Erin about was the whole everyone being like, oh, well, you make millions of dollars a year. That has to weigh on a person mentally because they work their ass off to get there and make millions of dollars a year. They shouldn't have to hear it from everybody all the time. Well, you should shut up and go play. You get paid millions of dollars. It doesn't matter what they get paid. They get paid because they earn that money. And, that's got to weigh on them mentally.
Absolutely. I mean, I 100% would think it would. I mean, You have these guys, especially the ones that struggle to perform. I mean, you have Fulte, who had his salary was pretty decent for what it was with how his performance had been, most of last season coming into this one. And, you get up there and you have all this pressure weighing on you. And I mean, they're human. A lot of them are going to look at what people say online. I know I would.
There's no way I could be a celebrity or an athlete and not check Twitter almost every day to see
100%. I'm the same way. Like,
do it.
I just think that the whole shut up and play, you make millions of dollars to play a kid's game. While I agree with that, when it comes to the state of our country and our world right now as a whole, that's kind of an ignorant thing to say. Yeah. And it's not fair to the players because it puts them in an impossible situation. So when you have these opt-outs, you look at a lot of them, like when Markakis opted out, I was fine with it because he has a wife and he has kids at home.
He's got a lot of kids.
And he's got like a baseball team full of kids, I think. I don't even know. But it's kind of one of those things where I think fans, they just kind of get too entitled sometimes.
I think let's see, we got a question here real quick that I'll address before I'll say what I was going to. Are any former players involved in helping on the issue? It seems like it would be something important to a lot of them, especially if they have their own kids playing. Do you know of anything, like any kind of initiative like that?
No, I don't. And that's actually something that I hadn't even thought about from a different point of view is, you have former players, you have their kids who want to play. And I mean, you have Andrew Jones right now, his kid's playing ball.
Mm-hmm. Half the Blue Jays, half the Blue Jays team have fathers who are MLB players.
And you have to think about what that's like from a parent's point of view. I mean, you don't know what their stance is on COVID-19, on what's going on in the world. So I think a lot of it just comes down to different people, different, views on what's going on.
I've seen like the guys like Aubrey Huff and Lenny Dykstra and those guys that are just like really kind of.
The best thing could happen? The best thing in the world would be if everyone would quit fucking talking about Aubrey Huff.
Oh, I know. I just
just quit fucking replying to him. Quit retweeting him. I had to teach myself this. I'm gonna quit retweeting this guy. It's not doing anything but getting to do what he wants.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly it.
He just wants the attention. But like guys like that, they almost seem to be doing the exact opposite of encouraging mental health support and wellness. It almost seems like they're tearing these guys apart more than just about anybody.
He's a tool.
And
I'll say that on air. I mean, I don't care who hears it. Aubrey Huff is an absolute tool. He is the exact macho mentality that is damaging to young kids.
Yeah, but he also wore a thong to the San Francisco Giants World Series parade. So he's
complaining because he's not being like invited back to anything, and that's because you're actually a tool.
Like those guys they're talking about like how the players are a bunch of snowflakes now and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, yes. I mean, I also feel like it's kind of a completely different, the game is not the same as it was at that point, which it hasn't been that long since he played, but the game has changed a lot. And in this type of scenario, I don't think anybody has a right to be calling these guys snowflakes if they're choosing not to play for whatever their reason may be.
I don't think it's anybody's, place to say anything irregardless of whatever. I mean, and especially when you think of somebody that has the reputation that Aubrey Huff has, and he's known for starting issues and for talking crap and just being the type of person that he is. And I think that part of the reason he puts off this persona and this, macho men and boys don't cry and women are supposed to be in the kitchen, it's because it gets him the attention that he is so desperately craving. And while there's obviously other people out there that feel the same way as him, I still think that, you have enough people that do believe that, you should raise, girls and boys pretty much the same way, because at the end of the day, they're tiny humans. And you want to emotionally bring them up to be strong, human beings. You want to raise strong boys so that if that boy is dating your daughter, that they're thinking, hey, I know that I struggle emotionally, so she probably does too. And Aubrey Huff can go kick rocks. I can't with him.
We all feel like that around here about Aubrey Huff. So what do you feel like? Have you seen any? I mean, of course, we just touched on like former players, maybe possibly not having. We don't know of anything going on there. Are there any organizations that support these guys that you are aware of? Like, or does it have anything in place?
I know just like directly the Tyler Skaggs Foundation, which, he died of an accidental overdose July 1st of last year.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, I actually put the wrong date in my notes. That's fine.
Yeah,
but anyways,
last year.
I know that his wife Carly with Tyler's mother, they have created a foundation, and the whole goal of that foundation is to help empower and give confidence to today's youth through the gift of sports, which I think is super important. It focuses on the kids that might not have that kind of support at home. Mm-hmm. It focuses on the kids that, struggle to be confident on the field. And I think as sports fans, we know more than anything, being on the field and having confidence is how you succeed. If you are in your head, if you don't have confidence in your stuff as a pitcher or as, a position player, it's it's going to show. And, you know, another foundation that really kind of focuses on it, Helensky Hope Foundation, which you remember Tyler Helensky? Yeah.
Tyler Helensky,
Yeah. He committed suicide back in 2018. And the whole goal of their foundation is to kind of eliminate the stigma surrounding mental illness within the youth of today. And it helps give, you know, student athletes an avenue to speak up, you know, so they don't have to silently struggle. Because I think as mental health is a thing, that's a big thing. You know, those who struggle silently struggle on a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got players like Joey Votto that have kind of come out publicly and started talking about, you know, he's seeing doctors, he's talking to people, trying to get over the depression that he's been experiencing. Andrew Tolles and his struggles. I mean, the man was found homeless. Like, this is, it really is an issue. Do you feel like, because I mean, to me, you know, you just talked about like helping these kids cope through sports. So you spend, you know, a lot of these kids grow up and that's their escape. That's how they got away from the problems in their life. And then they get put on a national stage and suddenly their escape is now the source of their issues. Like, do you feel like, I mean, how do you cope with that? Like, how do you turn that back into what it once was for you for these guys?
I think having, Christian Yelich is on my TV. I think having, you know, a strong support system, whether it be, you know, other players on your team, whether it be family at home, whether you actually talk to your parents and you say, hey, you know, there's something going on. I can't figure out what's going on in my head. I need to talk to somebody. But having an outlet for these kids to be able to, you know, have somebody to talk to is super important, because you do look at these college football players, college baseball players even, and they get torn apart. Mm-hmm. I'm a Clemson fan, and Trevor Lawrence is a boss, but he gets torn apart at every avenue for every reason under the sun. And it is incredibly disheartening. But I think that, you know, them being able to talk about it and have avenues, have foundations and, you know, organizations that kind of aim to help kids like that, that's important. And you know, a lot of them help each other. Trevor Lawrence is a big one that, you know, reaches out and helps, you know, other players. So I ramble. I'm sorry. Like, I started one place and I went to a whole other place.
Well, I wanted to speak on, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, there's no secret that I have my own mental health issues. Everybody's seen me talk about it on Twitter, and I'm a fucking nobody. Like, I'm just a dude with a Twitter account that talks on a podcast once a week. I could not imagine like having the issues that I do have and having to deal with that on a fucking grand stage every single day being a baseball player. Like, like Joey Votto, like him coming out and saying something was awesome, because it makes people like me, and there's many millions of people like me, when they see people like Major League Baseball players having the same problems that they're having, that's huge for people going through shit like I am.
Well, and I mean, you think, I wrote about David Freese too, who, I mean, he is a hero in his hometown of St. Louis because of his clutch performance during the 2011, you know, Game 6 of the World Series. And he was struggling so much at that point in time with depression and alcohol abuse that all of that attention and everything put on him magnified how hopeless he felt. Because it's like, you have this big stage and all of these anxiety issues and this depression, and it's magnified when you perform to a certain level, because then you go back out and you're like, holy crap. That's what people expect from me every time now. And if I can't do that, I'm going to be the laughing stock of the league.
Yeah. Someone in the comments said Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay.
I think
Yeah.
that's my cousin that said that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one that you think about too. And, there's so many players that it's hard to highlight all of them, but it just brings awareness to the fact that they're human beings and they struggle like we do too,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think and I love that some of these guys are starting to come out and talk about these issues that they're having, because hopefully that opens the door for everybody else that's going through those things to kind of come out and do it. I think it's just so much of this. If you play a sport, you've got to be a macho guy and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. I mean, what are some of your thoughts on, like, and it trickles down, like Cape saying that Joey Votto talking about it made him feel like, okay, well, I mean, if this guy's going through it too, then it's not bad that I'm going through, stuff like that happening. What do you feel about, like, these kids? We know there's some organizations and stuff for these youth athletes. How do you think that they're feeling like being sidelined due to COVID, like college athletes, high school athletes? Like, you've got seniors that were going into big recruiting years, and now we don't know if we're going to have football. You've got college baseball that was canceled because of all of this. And how do you think, like, these guys, how do you feel like this is impacting them?
It's disheartening. And I mean, these kids that do use sports as an avenue for whatever issues they're going through, I mean, being sidelined for something like that makes you feel hopeless, in a sense of, it's my senior year. This is what was going to be my ride. This is how I was going to make it into college sports and hopefully go pro. And now that's almost taken away from them.
Yeah. Some of these kids, that was going to be the only thing that was going to get them out of whatever situation they were in life. So do you feel like there's, what happens to all the what ifs in that scenario?
I mean, I honestly can't fully answer that, because those are what ifs that even I worry about and wonder about right now for them. And, there's luckily fall ball leagues, there's summer leagues that go on, there's different avenues that they can go through. The issue right now with COVID and everything is are those going to be avenues that are actually open to them?
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to use those outside avenues to be able to move forward? And it's different for kids in college when it comes to their, senior year. I know the NCAA, on some level, they were talking about expanding eligibility for seniors,
granting them another year,
which would be awesome.
They did do that for spring athletes.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. But for the high schoolers, where do they go from here? I mean, they
can't go back to high school for another year.
Speaking on high school, I saw today there's a kid committed to play quarterback at University of Southern California next year. He's a senior in high school. Well, California said, we're not doing high school football this year. This kid and his family is moving to Georgia, and he's going to play at Valdosta High School in Georgia. So you've got kids literally moving cross country just to where they can play their senior year. Because if they don't, they literally might blow their shot at being in the league one day. So
absolutely. And I mean, what happens to college players that have concerns about this? Like, when the fall ramps up, if they opt out, like, say
they've already been players opted out.
Yeah, say they think that their first round draft pick, they've got it locked in, but they opt out of the season. Where's that going to put them? And like, what kind of
open tryouts? And
like,
that's never a place you want to be. But
basically, these kids are in a position where I either, even if I'm worried about it or not, I either play my senior year of football and then our junior year, whatever year they're at, where they're about to go to the NFL. I play, I risk getting sick, I risk getting my family sick, I risk getting other people sick, or I opt out and just test my luck in the draft and see what happens.
I mean, that's really where they're at. Like, this has left like such a big game of chance for people. And I mean, I know that, I struggle anyway, but I know that being this isolated has made it so much harder. And I just can't, kind of putting it back to like the guys in the NBA bubble and the guys that are playing hockey right now and, the MLB situation. Like, how do we think all of these guys make it sanely through the year, or do we think we see somebody snap? Like,
I
what?
was going to touch on this earlier when we first started talking about this. I think the idea of of NHL and NBA was that done a bubble, and those players are allowed to interact with each other, hang out with each other. They have facilities they can go to that are like bars, and they can go play video games together. That idea is so much better. It's really hard to do with baseball, though. But
Oh yeah.
your two choices to play baseball are in Florida, where it rains all the time, or Arizona, where it's 120 degrees.
And
baseball-
both of those places have been hot spots for COVID as well.
Yeah. But like the NBA, they're all at Disney World in a compound together. But they have avenues to where they can get out and do things without exposing themselves to the outside world. AKA, that's why they call it a bubble. So,
And I think if a bubble type scenario could have been executed in a proper manner with baseball, that would have been a way to go. But how do you execute a bubble with both leagues? And
you really couldn't have
that's exactly it.
I mean, the only thing you really could have done would have been like American League in one location, National League in another location. You play it out there, and then you start the playoffs. But at that point in time, you have to break the bubble. So what happens to those guys then? I mean, I just don't really see a way MLB could have made it work. I just hope that, and I don't know, like we had a little deal scrolling across the bottom earlier about resources for minor league players. I would assume that same sort of thing. Sand Creek, a professional counseling and consulting organization to offer free and confidential help to minor league players and their families. Like, is there anything like that for MLB as well? Like for the players that are actually playing right now?
I don't know if there's any organization specifically for them. I mean, you think there should be, and I should honestly probably know that answer, but I don't. I think that for a lot of MLB players, a lot of MILB players, even reaching out for the help is something that is still kind of destigmatized, because that means, hey, I'm struggling with something and it could be used against them. Yeah. I mean, I know that in terms of minor league ball not being played, you have minor league baseball players that are having to get actual jobs while they are still trying to train to stay fit. So in terms of help for them, I know that there are outlets where you can sponsor MILB players.
Adopt an MILB player is a big one.
Exactly.
I have a player that I sponsor. He's a Dodger. Don't anybody hold that against me. I mean, that's one thing. And, and I made that very clear. It's like, if you ever even just need to talk about something, like, it's cool. Like, don't hesitate. But I feel like it's important to have as much of that stuff as possible for these guys, especially right now. But, I mean, I don't know what else you got for us.
I mean, I think in terms of mental health for baseball players, it's less about the players when it comes to making it a normal thing to talk about. And it's more about the fans opening their eyes, opening their ears. I mean, even opening their hearts with being open to understanding that everybody struggles no matter what level you are. I don't care if you make millions of dollars. I don't care if you make $8.25 working at the McDonald's drive-thru. We all struggle the same. We feel the same. We love the same. We hurt the same. We grieve the same. It just presents itself differently for each individual person. With athletes, you look at them and you grow up watching them, and they kind of become these flawless heroes that you just expect them to step up to the plate and perform. And you're like, bases are loaded. We have 2 outs. It's, top of the 9th, hit a grand slam. And if they don't, you get on your Twitter and you bash them. Of course, he's never hit a grand slam. When has he ever hit a grand slam? What did I expect out of him? And it becomes this thing where it's normal to put these players down. And you don't know what's going on in their personal life, in their private life outside of the ball field. They could have family issues going on, Ender Inciarte is a big one I talk about, and so many people hate him. And I'm a big fan of his just because of who he is for the Braves. Offense, he's always struggled, but defense, he's clutch, always. And, he's from Venezuela, and everything going on in his home country, especially last season, it was extremely heartbreaking and devastating to watch. And you think that his family is there, and there's this man that's getting paid this large amount of money to be a professional baseball player, and he's having to watch what the people in his home country are going through. And he's just expected to perform like nothing is happening.
Absolutely. And that could be said probably for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys come from other countries where there's a lot of turmoil right now, and all they can do is sit there and watch it on the news every night. And they're completely helpless as to what their families are going through down there. And I feel like people need to, and I am one to absolutely, I'll talk a little bit of shit, but I'm not going to sit there and tear somebody like absolutely to shreds and be like, oh, he's fucking horrible. Why is he still on this team? Obviously, he's there for a reason. Whoever they are, they're there for a reason. And, and I think especially watching like Fulty's issues kind of unfold in front of all of us, that has been really, and we don't even know what's going on with him, but it's been really heartbreaking to kind of watch the Fulty saga unfold. And no, go ahead.
No, the heartbreaking thing about Fulty is he has the stuff, and we've seen it. It's the meltdowns that he goes into when it becomes to high leverage, like high pressure situations. And Cape and I actually have talked about this a lot, where when Fulty got sent down to Gwinnett, there was talks about elbow issues, about Tommy John surgery, and he, I guess, opted out of that. And he started performing so well that they're like, okay, well, we're just going to push it aside. And I think that honestly happens a lot. These injuries, look at Dansby, look at Freddie, look at Ozzie now. These injuries that these players kind of play off like, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine, whatever. And they play and they play and they play, and they're performing, and then it eventually starts to become an issue. And then you have people that are like, well, why didn't you say anything to Snicker earlier? Why didn't you say anything to the trainers? And they put it all on the players. And I couldn't imagine being in their situation, having injuries that come up and having to go up to my coach and be like, hey, so I know I'm in the starting lineup, but I can't really play because I can't even move my wrist.
Yeah. I think there's always a lot of pressure to perform, especially if you're a big name guy. It's kind of shitty all around for him.
And, Fulty is a sad one because he is, he's such a nice guy, and you hate seeing the nice guys go down.
Yeah.
And I know that it goes against everything that people say about baseball, like they're athletes. You're just supposed to watch them because it's entertaining. But when you've been a fan of a team for so long, you come to love them as individuals and players. And watching them go down like that and battle mentally like Fulty has for so long, it's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. It's just I'm one of those people that gets attached to players. Like
I do too. Yeah.
I'm the worst about it. Like with Josh Donaldson leaving, I hated it. Like there's been so many times that I'll just totally get attached to somebody and I will follow them forever, whatever team they go to. And I hate when I see these guys leave my team and they're struggling with this or something's going on. And you just kind of see these random guys throughout so many, they come and go so fast. It seems like, especially with AA's love of the 1-year deal, they come and go so fast through Atlanta that when you do get some that stick around for a long time, you really get attached. Like you kind of can't help yourself. And I think that kind of helps to stop just looking at them as people that are there to entertain you and to look at them more as individuals. But at the same time, I think a lot of people just see that team logo and that's all that they care about.
And I understand that and I can respect that. I've never been that type of fan. I grew up watching the Braves, and my love for the Braves turned into a love for baseball in general. And, you know, I have teams that I like outside of the Braves, teams that I support outside of the Braves, and you get attached to these players.
Absolutely.
So when they leave, you follow them like Julio Turan.
Yeah, everybody, a lot of people were really
Heartbreaking when he left. And Josh Donaldson, he's been one that I have liked since the beginning of his career. And when he was finally made an Atlanta Brave, I was a kid on Christmas.
Oh,
You couldn't tell me anything.
yeah, right here.
And I obviously knew that A wasn't going to sign him to a long-term deal. And B, I knew Donaldson wasn't going to take another 1-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was kind of a lose-lose situation there with Donaldson. But I do think, you know, with Ozuna coming in, we filled that gap very well. And I'm very happy with that.
I think he's great. So we're going to go over here to the comments real quick. Megan says money has a huge impact on all of this and the players. I absolutely agree with that. Like, a big part of why these guys are forced to push through these injuries, like, if you're a big guy, you're the moneymaker. If you're that big name, if you're that Bryce Harper, if you're that Christian Yelich, if you're that Mike Trout, you're kind of put in that position where they want you to just play through it because of who you are. Let's see. Sweet D Day is over on Twitch, says, yeah, you do kind of need to be a superstar to really be totally open about mental health. And even then, it probably costs them. I would agree with that to some extent, too, just because the stigma in sports and mental health is still so high that these guys are looked at a little differently.
Absolutely. I actually really do agree with that. That's something I kind of touched on earlier is you have to be a Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Or a Christian Yelich, or, I mean, heck, even a Jack Flaherty to be able to kind of, I love him. Don't do that.
Yeah, we knew. I literally had a bet on how long it was going to be until you dropped Jack.
I wonder. I've been waiting this whole interview for you.
I've been sitting here quiet as hell waiting on the Jack Flaherty name drop.
It's been 30 minutes.
You couldn't fucking do it without dropping his name.
You made it. You made it almost to the end of the interview. You did a really good job.
No, but you have to be a big name like that because when
Jack
you're
Flaherty's a big name.
You know what, Cape? Nobody asked your opinion. No,
I'll let you finish.
Speaking of him, I'm going to interrupt you for like 2 seconds.
Go.
Speaking of him, because I have grown fond of him over this off season. I'm glad Skeeter checked out of this like 20 minutes ago because he had to go to bed, so he doesn't hear this part.
Yeah, it's
but,
his bed.
I have grown fond of him over the off season. And so I do follow him on Twitter and I do follow him on Instagram. And he's been pretty entertaining, like during the Cardinals quarantine, like setting up the mattress and everything so you could throw it in the hotel room, saying he didn't want to pull a Joe Kelly and break the window. Like, I feel like he's got a really good spirit about what the Cardinals are going through right now. And I mean, I think for somebody like he's their ace right now. Like, how hard does that have to be to want to be out there and to be in, a prime position with your team and to be stuck sitting in a hotel room all the time. So props to Jack for, having a good attitude, but I feel like he comes from a very strong support system as well. So that probably helps that. Jack Flaherty is a medium name. Inky.
He might be a medium name right now, but just wait a little while. I mean, you have to think his second half of last season after Tyler Skaggs died was incredible. And
him and Skaggs were friends, weren't they?
Yeah, they were like best friends. Tyler Skaggs was really good friends with Max Fried, too.
I was about to say it was Skaggs, Flaherty, Max Fried, all the SoCal boys.
And Ryan Braun was really good friends with him, too.
Yeah.
Fuck Ryan Braun.
Hey, I'm actually watching the Brewers game right now.
Hey, okay. I don't. If you're watching the game, I thought I saw this a minute ago. Did Yelich hit a fucking in the park home run earlier?
I don't think so.
Very much like Yelich. It looked like Yelich hit it in the park home run in the game.
When was it? Because he's up at bat right now.
Way earlier, like
Okay, yeah, then yes.
I know
I'm
he
like,
hit a
it
home
wasn't-
run.
Yes.
it was in the park.
Yeah,
home
it was in the park.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. That'll work.
No,
I mean, Yelich, he's been cold.
It literally was right when Aaron came on, and I was watching it, but I was like, okay, I can't interrupt the monologue to like freak out about a fucking Yelich in the park home run. So.
Christian Yelich is.
Listen, when highlights happen, you interrupt whatever is going on.
Okay, yeah. Next
Highlights.
time I'm like, hold up, shut the fuck up. Yelich just hit it in the park home run. He hit the ball so far in the air, he was like rounding second base when the fucking left fielder missed the catch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was already at second base when the left fielder missed it.
And it's crazy because he's 6'4", 6'3". He's
a
long
big old
and
boy.
lanky. And you're like, he shouldn't have speed to him, but he is surprisingly graceful and fast with all of his long lankiness. It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah,
because Freddie Freeman
Reese-
looks like a two left feet goat when he's running
Freddie
around.
Freeman is the most awkward.
Bro, yeah.
Like, he's got the most awkward build I've ever seen in my life. He's just so.
He looks
straight.
like a fucking Slim Jim running the base. But Slim Jim had legs.
He's got those giant long legs. It's so strange. Megan says Matt Kemp is better than Ryan Braun.
Fuck
Reese
yeah.
Tate says, yep, left fielder fell into the net and got stuck.
Love it when that
Yelly
happens.
there. So since we're talking about highlights, Erin, I want to plug your website for us. Plug your blog for us.
Oh, okay. So it is the643media.com. And the Twitter for that is at the643media.
Okay, so that's where everybody can go to find the articles that you're writing about this topic. There's some really good stuff over there. I feel like you guys definitely go check it out. You've got tell us what your next article is about.
Okay, so it's actually about Jack Flaherty.
Oh,
But
no
it's
way.
no way. No, but it's about how he is kind of the voice that we need in baseball right now when it comes to everything that is going on in the world. Socially, racially, he's been very vocal, very open, very honest. He's been very vulnerable with sharing his experiences because a lot of people don't know this, but Jack Flaherty was adopted as a very young child, and he is half Black, and he was adopted by a white woman and was raised in an all-white household. So his kind of perspective on things it's different than what we hear, but I think the awareness that he brings to things and the support that he shows towards everything that's going on in the world right now is incredibly important. So that's what that article is on.
And I think that's one of the reasons that I have grown pretty fond of him over the off season. Some of the things he's had to say, like just over the negotiations, the things that he was saying, and then the stand he has taken, and the fact that he has been very vocal about a lot of these issues. It's been really cool to watch. I'm becoming a fan of Jack Flaherty, not the Cardinals, just Jack.
That's
Just
exactly.
So we're very, very clear, just Jack, not the Cardinals.
That's how I am too. I like other players on the Cardinals, but I'm not a Cards fan at all. But I am a Jack Flaherty fan, and I would never, ever, ever be unhappy if he somehow became a Brave one day. I'm just throwing that out there.
He's one of those guys that you hate him until he's on your team.
He's an Acuna.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a Juan Soto.
I wouldn't like Juan Soto anyway. He's a Marcelo Zuna.
He is.
He is a Marcelo Zuna because I hated him so much, and now I just think he's the greatest thing ever.
He's
with the Ozuna again. She loves Marcel. She's a big fan.
Ozuna.
Megan's got an update for us. Apparently, George Springer left the game with a right wrist strain. Megan,
No.
don't drop that kind of knowledge on me in the middle of a show because I'm going to have to go cry.
I love George Springer.
Erin and I are both big George
That
Springer
is-
people.
That is something we bonded over, actually.
It is like when Erin and I first started talking to each other, George Springer was one of the big things. So don't come on here and tell me he got hurt in the middle of the show. I'm gonna go cry.
There's been so many injuries.
I feel like he's just now starting to heat up too. Like I don't want to see him go down when he's just now getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me sad. Megan, I guess keep us posted on that for sure though, so we know what's going on. I don't have.
Hey, lady.
He did.
I heard y'all say George Springer got hurt.
That's what Megan said.
What's he doing? Beating on trash can too hard?
Listen.
What happened?
Right wrist strain. So he may have been.
Oh, that's for beating on a fucking trash can. No wonder Bregman and Altuve hit homers tonight.
Well, George took one for the team then.
Yeah.
We'll just say it that way. George took one for the team.
He did, or Chris did.
Let's go on forward. Let's talk about Megan. You want to stick or you're not Megan. Megan's over here posting all the time. Like Erin, would you like to stick around and like talk about some of the highlights from the week with us?
Yeah, I ain't going anywhere.
Sweet. Let's do this then.
Somebody said they missed Megan, so I'm sorry you missed Megan.
Sorry.
I do too. I don't
know. I'm having a hell of a night. Like I don't know what's going on with me. I've been trying not to say as many bad words, and I think it has completely fucked me up.
It's me.
I'm
not cussing.
Is it because of the like conversation we had about future guests that won't let us cuss we had earlier?
Well, I just thought I would try it for a night and see how it went. And first of all, it's not going well. And I feel like I just can't even form a complete sentence at this point in time tonight. I'm calling people by the wrong name. I'm getting our Patreon. I can't do anything right when I'm mentally like focusing on not saying bad words. So I'm going to throw that out the window for the second half of this, and hopefully things are going to get a little bit better. So the first thing we're going to talk about, Dansby Swanson. We all know how much I love him. Management fucking suck at not cussing. That's true. I am the worst at it. If you tell me to clean my act up, you might as well just tell me to go home because it's going to be a rough ride. So we have a little graphic here that Vandy Boys Baseball posted earlier about Dansby. Dansby is the first shortstop in MLB history to hit in each game and have 11 RBIs in his first 8 games.
Okay. Can we talk about this?
We can talk about this.
I think it's awesome, but I want to know who's paid to pull these random ass fuck ass stats out of nowhere. Like that's not a fucking record. He's the first shortstop to hit 11 RBIs and 8 hits and 9 straight. Who pulls these stats and these records?
Somebody at Vanderbilt posted that.
Yeah.
I had a graphic
the Braves
I haven't seen my graph. Yeah, the Braves posted it. It was it had been posted by Vanderbilt Baseball first.
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's great for Dansby. I think it's awesome. But I want to know who's getting paid to pull these goddamn records out of thin air.
I'll take that job. Like
what the fuck? That person's got to be a goddamn genius. Like they just sit on fan graphs all day long. Like, all right, what record can we come up with today?
You know what? Like Fangraphs is such a wealth of information. You can probably do that. Like I get in there. And
ever since you gave me the login, I've been on there every fucking day.
Oh yeah, I get on Fangraphs and like 10 minutes in, my eyes are crossed, and I'm just like, there's so much here.
I'm not gonna lie, there's some shit on Fangraphs that I'm like, yeah, I didn't make it that far in math. I don't know how to do that shit. I don't even know what that is.
You know, I'm looking at it and I'm like, do I know what this means? Like, I'm so confused by half of the stuff that I'm seeing here, but it's cool. It's a cool little thing. And we have his spray chart here, but since my graphic didn't show up, management was too busy putting that I fucking suck at not cussing. There it is. This is where Dansby's hits have gone this year. I don't know what this boy did in the offseason, but look.
I can tell you what he did. You know what he did, right?
What did he do, Kate?
He worked out with Chipper Jones in spring training.
Yeah.
Him and Chipper got together. Chipper should be a fucking major league hitting coach. I don't know why.
He absolutely should. And I mean, this is just like he is hitting that ball everywhere. Look how evenly, like that's just, it's awesome.
He's got a fucking shot to center field too. That's a piss missile. That ball, when he hit that ball, it was a piss rocket.
That ball was absolutely smoked, and it was great. Like I love seeing him finally. He's not pulling the ball every time. He's not. You
He's
know,
laying off the slider away in
Yeah.
the zone.
he's been a lot more patient. I know that was something that I would see a lot last year. He just did not seem to want to wait on anything. And now he's got a really good eye. He's waiting for the pitch he wants, and he's just smoking it. And it's great to see it. And I mean, that is a weird record to find, but
I was just busting your chops. I just think it's really fun. And Dansby's not the only one. I see these all over.
Cape said,
All over.
everybody take a drink.
Fuck, yeah, we got to take a drink. I said piss missile.
Oh, we have to take
We
drinks after that?
We should start. We're going to start doing this every time.
I've said piss missile multiple times every time we've done the show.
Oh, yeah. We both do. And I think we're going to pick a key word for everybody that hosts this show. And if you hear them say that word, you've got to drink.
That's dangerous.
Mine should be fucked. That's what mine should be.
If they did a take a drink every time Sarah or Cape cusses,
Yeah.
we'd have no audience 10 minutes into the show.
I guarantee we could get a liquor company to fucking sponsor us. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Drink your goslings every time they cuss. And
Cheers.
Megan says Dansby's been the top performer on her fantasy team since the beginning, and she loves it. And she only picked him because I love him. So you're welcome for that.
Well, and let's think about it this way. It's about time
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Dansby. Like, you know, you have to think about the pressure put on him. Drafted first, Bregman went right behind him. And then, you know, he had injuries and he wasn't performing where he should. And then when he finally started performing up to the level, you know, Twitter GMs thought that he should, he got injured last season.
Mhm.
And it's been one thing after another for him. But the one solid that I will die on the hill of saying that Dansby Swanson is so much better than people give him credit for.
Absolutely.
Defensive wise,
can we,
clearly.
Can we thank the greatest gift that's ever happened to the Atlanta Braves and Dave Stewart? That was the Arizona Diamondbacks general manager.
Yes.
That traded fucking Ender Inciarte, Dansby Swanson, and Tukey Toussaint for goddamn Shelby Miller.
Oh, Shelby Miller.
Yeah.
We need to
Granted,
put you of that
Shelby
guy.
Miller
outside.
was awesome. But you got us those three players, and then he went to Arizona and didn't do dog shit. And Dave Stewart got fired at the end of that season. So
I mean, when you make a trade like that, you're probably going to lose your job at some point in time. Like it's bound to happen. So we've got, of course, you know, and I love it. I'm all about it. I'm all about Dansby. Now tonight, I'm not wearing my Braves colors. I am rocking my Rockies jersey.
Please tell me it's Nolan Arenado's name on the
Of
back.
course, it's Nolan Arenado. Come on now.
Yes.
Of course, it's Nolan Arenado. It's got to be Nolan Arenado. And we're talking about Nolan Arenado tonight because he went yard in 3 straight games.
Yep.
Nolan has heated up. Nolan is firing on all cylinders. I mean, look at that ball.
He has such a pretty swing, though.
That was he
that was
just
a limp
knocked that out. Like that's. I mean, Nolan is something else, and we're going to see some of his defense here in a minute when we look at the plays of the week.
I cannot wait to see Nolan Steve.
Oh my God. Like this man, 3 straight games. Nolan's heating up. The Rockies are heating up. I turned on the Rockies game earlier today just in time to see Blackman hit a bomb into the second deck of Coors Field. And it was just like, oh.
No, that one Blackman hit today was a fucking that was a piss guided missile.
See, there's home run number 2. I mean, you can't once Nolan Arenado gets hot, like
I would love to see him.
like the Rockies have been a very surprising team so far. And here we got home run number 3. That one's a shot. Yeah, that Blackman hit a bomb earlier today. The Rockies are kind of scary. Like,
Hey, Sarah, Megan's over here in our comments just totally fucking simping for Matt Kemp.
oh yeah,
Just simping her ass off for Matt
she's
Kemp.
been simping for Matt Kemp
Yeah.
since the season started.
See, look, Matt Kemp. Matt
Kemp.
simping for Matt Kemp right now.
You go
He-
up, there's
listen,
Matt Kemp more.
Matt Kemp is earning me all kinds of fantasy points too. So keep simping Matt Kemp. Like I'm all about it.
Right?
See, Inky says that Tukey came over in the
I
Bronson
was gonna correct myself. I forgot about that. He was in the Bronson Arroyo trade.
I mean, that's still there's been a lot of shit happening over there.
I just like how polite Inky is with everything. He says,
Inky's
hello,
my
he
favorite
says, I love you.
Inky is the best. Like Inky will completely put you in your place and then end it with "I love you," and you're just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's
Cool,
totally cool.
thanks.
We're fine with that."
I will tell you right now, me and Inky talking to DMs, and he's actually like a fucking awesome person. He really is.
Oh yeah, you can tell. Inky's great. So we're gonna keep talking about dingers here. We're gonna talk about Mike Trout and his dad's strength. Have you seen the bombs?
First game back and went
First game
yickety.
back. There it goes. And then he just kept going. This was last night. There's another one.
That ball, dude, they almost had to call NASA for that fucking ball.
That thing is, I don't know if it ever made
That
it.
ball went into orbit.
Now, we're going to look at another one of Trout's home runs here in a little bit, but he hit 2 home runs in the game last night. Dad's strength is a dangerous, dangerous thing. Like,
It
what are you
is.
going to do with this man now? He was already the greatest baseball player there is, and you're going to give him dad's strength?
I
Dude,
wonder what the
if Mike Trout played for the Yankees or the Dodgers, he would be the biggest name in sports that's ever existed.
Absolutely.
Do we know what the exit velo was on the first homer?
It's 169 miles an hour.
I don't. I was going to look at that and see what kind of velocity he's cranking out, but I mean, those balls were flying. Did you see that Marcell Ozuna's hit earlier today was 110 miles an hour off the bat?
Yeah.
I don't.
Holy shit. Like,
That double that Acuna hit the other night was 114.
Jesus.
Like, that's hauling ass.
They're hitting the ball hard.
That's a ripped ass ball.
Some
Jock pops.
Jock
Megan
Pop.
over in the comments.
Jock is hitting some bombs. See, I still can't talk, but it's getting better. Jock Peterson he's been on fire too. Man, we got all kinds of stuff going on. We talked about the A's 2 walk-off grand slams earlier. We kind of mentioned that. Let's talk about let's look at the other highlights. We've got Max fucking Kepler. Holy shit. Let's watch the home run videos.
Is this Max Kepler?
Yep, against Clevenger.
See ya. Yiggity. Bye.
Goodness.
That's a bomb.
Yeah.
Clev's face was here's George Springer. He was heating up. Thank God. Finally getting warm with a 2-run shot the other night. Looked great. We're going to take a few looks at this.
Altuve must have been playing the trash can that night.
No, George Springer just did it on his own. We're going to take a few looks at this because I just like to look at George Springer hitting dingers. I'm here for the Springer dingers all day long.
You like to look at George Springer's dinger?
Yeah.
I mean,
don't ask her that.
We got the inside the park home run for the Diamondbacks last night. Look at this short little dude just fucking trucking.
Bro, that dude is
I got all the way away from Springer, which, that's a sad deal, but good Lord. Then we got
this is my favorite home run of the year right now.
That's a fucking moonshot.
Yeah.
Where
But
did that land?
do you not have the video of him watching it?
Yeah, it cut it off a little bit before. We got David Fletcher with a bomb for the Angels. Here was Mike Trout's second home run. And God, I wish we had the sound on that because it sounded like that ball just exploded.
Yeah. He also hit that ball 400 feet in the air, not horizontally, vertically.
Jesus.
Jeez. Mike, that's scary. Like, you always hear about dad strength, and by the way, congratulations to Mike Trout and his wife for.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm on a full ass on mission right now to make sure Blakely marries Mike Trout's son.
I mean, there's only 6 months between them. You can do it.
Exactly. I hope he likes older women because he's 6 months older than him. And then, me and Mike Trout can be fucking boys because he's like the greatest baseball player that's ever lived.
Boy.
What would you do if she married Bryce Harper's son?
That wouldn't happen because we're not Mormon.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. So let's talk about defense now. We watched some bombs.
Wait, no, Bryce Harper had a girl anyway. Is having a girl anyways.
He's already got one
He has
though.
a kid. He has a son.
He's got a son and he has a daughter on the way.
This tells you how much fucking attention I don't pay to Bryce Harper.
Why don't you like Bryce Harper?
He's got a little boy and he's got a daughter on the way.
Not enough time for that.
Can we take Erin off the show now or later?
Blakely Trout has a nice ring to it, is what Inky said.
Yeah, Blakely Trout. Tell me that don't sound good. I'll take my name to Cape Trout.
Cape Trout.
Sure, it's totally normal to change.
Yeah, just feel like my daughter married into the Trout family, so I just changed my name.
I just hyphenated it.
I'm a Trout. We're all Trouts.
Like we're related now. It's all good. Let's look at the defensive plays of the week. Now we're going to see some Nolan Arenado again up in here.
We love
we can get that video up. Here we go. Arenado back on his bullshit with this defense. Look at this shit. And he's got it. And he's just going to take a little nap.
Just chilling.
He's just going to hang out there. Now, this play, I mean, good Lord. I love Nolan Arenado. I have that jersey too.
I know.
Y'all remind me to come back to something in the comments here in just a second, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Bryce Harper is just like the Liberty Bell. Okay.
No, listen, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to tell you the story, okay?
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that one after we watch the rest of this video. We got several different angles of this Arenado catch because
that catch is gnarly, yeah.
It's
he ran 55 feet to catch that ball.
Now, watch this. I can't even describe this.
What the fuck just happened?
The bottom of it just got cut off. But so
that was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
The ball gets hit to first, ricochets off his glove. Here we go. We got another view of it. Oh, we didn't get to see anything there. But the ball comes to first, ricochets off the first baseman's glove, and just goes like up in the air. Second baseman catches it, throws it midair. And pitcher catches it and gets the out.
That was a gnarly play. That's cooler than the pillow.
It doesn't look like his foot's on the bag. But they called him out. So I just thought it was really cool looking. So that's why I made plays of the week. Whether it got overturned or not, I don't know because I wasn't watching that game. But
you ready for the story?
Yeah, now let's talk about Bryce Harper is just like the Liberty Bell. Fill us in on that.
So Reese, that comments in the show all the time, is one of my best friends. Like me and him work together. We hang out all the time. Well, me and him were at a Braves-Phillies game last year, right? And we are both smashed. We're sitting in my season ticket seats. And Reese just yelled. I mean, we've been heckling Bryce Harper the whole game, right? Like to the point where I've tweeted at Jeff Francoeur, and Jeff Francoeur is like, "Yeah, I can hear you from the booth. Y'all are loud as fuck." Like, so Reese yells as loud as he can. Bryce Harper's just like the Liberty Bell. Like everyone looks at him like, "Dude, what the fuck does that mean?" And like almost 2 minutes goes by, like a minute and a half goes by. He doesn't say shit, and then just at the top of his lungs yells, "Philadelphia always overpays for shit that doesn't fucking work." I'm like, dude, what the fuck? That's the best shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, I did not know where you were going with that, but that was great. So yeah, that's the Bryce Harper Liberty Bell story.
All right,
you being smashed,
Cape smashed, unimaginable.
I'm never smashed on this podcast. Only at baseball games.
I mean. You gotta get smashed at baseball games. Yeah. Now, before we get like into the scores from tonight, start talking about the standings and everything, I want to talk about this new powder blue uniform trend that fucking everybody is doing.
It's
the Rangers got the powder blues, the Phillies, which I kind of almost like the Phillies powder blues. Like everybody looks like the fucking Royals now. What the hell is going on here?
The Phillies powder blue with the burgundy looks good.
Yeah,
the Dodgers powder blue looks like they put their shit in the washing machine and their shit bled while they were washing.
It ran, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like the Dodgers as a team, but I think the Dodgers have got a beautiful fucking home uniform.
Absolutely.
Their white uniform, that's just classic. It's just that's classic baseball. I think
Really
it's
crisp.
beautiful.
It's a lot like the Braves home uniforms. Very
It's
crisp.
beautiful, but that powder blue literally looks like the shit bled in the washing machine. That's what it looks like.
Looks like they just had an accident.
I actually don't mind some of the powder blue uniforms.
See, like
I like that a lot of them are kind of like retro-y, like throwback vibes.
Yeah,
which I like, but I don't like we were talking about. I was looking at our notes actually. Blue Jays powder blue, don't like them, but I do like Phillies because I like the burgundy that they have with them. It kind of offsets it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a good contrast. Like the Rangers powder blue is
hideous.
It's awful.
It's hideous.
Like that looks horrible.
Megan just said the Dodgers have the best uniform. That's not true. I'm going to give you my top 5 uniforms power rankings.
Let's go.
Braves are number 1. Cardinals are number 2. Dodgers are number 3. Yankees are number 4. And Red Sox are number 5. That's my top 5 uniforms. I don't know what it is. I fucking hate the Cardinals, but the Cardinals uniforms are so fucking sick.
I like the Brewers uniforms, but other than that, I will agree with your list. I love like the throwback Cards jerseys. I love those, the cream colored ones.
Yeah.
I love them.
See, I think like the thing that most of those have in common, of course, the Yankees have the pinstripes, but outside of that, everybody has the very clean white.
Yeah, just iconic. Yeah. And you can't do, I mean, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You can't do a top 5 uniforms without the Yankees. It's the goddamn pinstripes. Like that's the Yankees.
Yeah, that's like one of the most.
I love the Yankees that they don't have a name on the back of their jersey. Like it's the Yankees. It's not a player. It's the Yankees. Like
yeah, I think one of the better looking uniforms in baseball as well is the Rockies pinstripes.
Yes.
I think it's a very slick look. I love those uniforms. And as much as I love the Marlins colors, I hate the Marlins uniforms.
They're gag worthy.
Back in the day, the Marlins pinstripe uniform was fucking sick.
Oh, yeah. Like their old uniforms, the old Marlins uniforms, beautiful. The new ones, I mean, they look like Little League jerseys to me.
My buddy Justin Pell's in the comments now, just shitting all over the Yankees. He's a Red Sox fan, so just shitting on the Yankees.
I'll support that. I'll support that all the way. Go ahead and shit all over the Yankees all you want. I am fine.
They dashed my hopes in the only World Series game I've ever been to, and they whooped our ass. So
yeah, I'm not a Yankees fan at all. At all.
No. Can't get behind it. I've got a lot of friends that I'm good with Yankees Twitter. I love y'all out there in Yankees Twitter. I don't like your team. Sure don't. Megan says she loves the Diamondbacks with the teal better than the red.
Dude, my favorite, I think other than like the 5 I just named, the classics, my favorite uniform ever was back in the day when Tampa Bay was the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yeah.
And they had that like black and purple.
That looked sick.
That fucker was sick. I've got one somewhere. I've got a Tampa Bay Devil Rays jersey somewhere. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, those were really sharp uniforms. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they've done so much. Sometimes I feel like the uniforms just look too busy now.
Yeah.
But I do love the Astros, and I almost wore it tonight because I just kind of randomly pick a different one every week. But I knew we were going to be talking about Nolan, so I threw on my purple Rockies one. The navy blue Astros jerseys with the orange and yellow down the sides of them. Those are really sharp looking.
Hey, Megan called it out before I even said it. She said old Devil Rays too.
Yep. She beat you to it. Like I really like that Astros jersey. I think it's really sharp looking. I like the color contrast in it because it's bright without being over like that orange one. I have the orange one. It makes my eyes hurt after like 30 minutes wearing it.
I know one thing. I'm going to have them cut out the part where you said, I love the Astros about 20 seconds ago, and I'm going to use that shit against Twitter. So. Okay.
You can go ahead. Like, I don't care.
I'm going to use content from your own show, from our show, to use against you.
You are more than welcome to do that because
I'm just kidding. I know you're a George Springer simp. It's all good.
Yeah,
I am too.
I'm a George Springer simp, so you can go ahead and post the I love the Astros anywhere you want. It would be if I were to say I love the pinstripe team that we talked about earlier that I'm not going to call out by name because somebody will use that against me, or if I were to say I love the team that Bryce Harper plays for currently or the team that Jack Flaherty plays for. I'm not going to say any of those names because
fuck the Yankees, fuck the Phillies, fuck the Cardinals. I got you.
yeah, I'm not saying those out loud so nobody can do to me what Jesse did to Ashlyn and post the Dodgers video. Yeah. I'm being very careful about that. I don't want
that about that video.
What did Jesse do?
What
did Jesse do to Ashlyn?
When she did her review of the Dodgers beer, she said something, she loved something, and then she said something about the Dodgers, and Jesse cropped it all together so that
I love the Dodgers.
I love the Dodgers.
No, she said I love this Dodgers beer, or I love the Dodgers beer.
Yeah,
something like that, and he cut it out. So she just said, "I love the Dodgers."
Yeah, I'm not leaving myself open to that attack. I'm not here for that. Not gonna happen. Don't want to do it. Any other uniforms? You know what, Erin? I forgot to ask you our question that we ask everybody. We talked about this last week. If you were an MLB player, what would your walk-up song be?
Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Well, you were quick with that.
Yeah, no, me and Erin about this.
You knew exactly where you were going there. See, like I went through like 7 different songs.
Hi, Neil. Yes, he's been watching. He's been texting me.
Awesome.
Hey, Neil. I went through like 5 different songs last week, and then I heard a song that I haven't heard in a very long time, Boom by the Ex-Ambassadors.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe that would be my walk-up song. And then
mine hasn't changed since last week.
Well, and then I found the song that used to be my absolute jam, Thug Love by Bone Thugs and Harmony featuring
yeah.
I saw that and I was like, nope. Cancel everything else. That would be my shit. I would walk up to that all day long.
Mine is still Knuck If You Buck by Crime Mob. And then there's like a list of 10 death metal songs that nobody knows. And those 10 songs would also be my walk-up song.
I mean, I would have a pretty steady. I would be like Dansby. Dansby is like 2 or 3.
Well, Dansby rotates out. And that's what I actually appreciate about him.
You know he needs to start rotating out? Freddie fucking Freeman. I'm going to say it every week. Until he changes his walk-up song.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of hearing Let the Drummer Kick.
Every time I'm watching the game and you hear the ding, 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 ding.
No, I'm like, oh my God.
Every time I hear that, I'm like, Cape is pissed off right now.
Yeah, I hate it. I fucking hate it. Like, you want to be Chipper so bad. Like, not he wants to be Chipper. That's his boy. He stated he wants to play with the Braves forever, like Chipper did. Well, guess what? Chipper walked out to Goddamn Crazy Train by Ozzy fucking Osbourne. A badass song. Freddie walks out to Let the Drummer Kick by Citizen Co. That's the most boring shit ever.
Have you seen look at Freddie versus Chipper? Like, have you seen Freddie's dance moves? Like, that guy looks like he's probably at home listening to Citizen Cope all day.
Yeah. He's only had one wife. Chipper's had like 7. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Freddie's a little bit behind.
Yeah. Chipper's wife is like our age.
No, Chipper's kryptonite is Hooters.
Listen, I am much, much older than Chipper's wife.
Do you know what song I would choose?
My wife is older than Chipper's wife.
Yeah, everybody's probably older than Chipper's wife.
One song I would choose, which is pretty funny. It's what Christian Yelich walked out to last season, Jungle by Andre Nicotina. Yeah. I'm like, I would love to walk out to that song.
See, like, I get hyped up when Mike Trout comes out in sicko mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also like Alex Bregman because he went to LSU and comes out to Call in Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks. That's a badass walk-up song.
He walked out Old Town Road for a little while, too.
Yeah.
If I played for the Astros, I'd walk out to Travis Scott, Houston Fornication.
There you go.
Like, you just have to.
See, George Springer was walking out to Butterfly Effect for a while.
Yes.
If I played for the Astros, I'd walk out to like whatever the hefty trash bag company, whatever their commercial theme song was.
No, I think the ultimate move for one of the Astros players to just own this whole thing would be to walk out to the Banging on a Trash Can from like the cartoon Doug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yes.
If you want to just totally own the situation, and make everybody not hate you. Every single person on the team makes that their walk-up song for one game.
Yeah. Just every single person. That'd be sick.
I think it would be brilliant. And
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I've completely changed my mind. I would walk out to Pony by Genuine. That'd be my walkout song.
Would you do like the actual
I'd do a full on fucking dance.
Yeah.
I would take the bat like right to my leg. Right up with the plate. Yeah. Yeah.
See, they would have to be real. Like I would be out there if I walked out.
I'm not that attractive. I'm not like super hot, so I'd have to like pull some sex appeal from somewhere else. It'd be my walk-up song. That's what it'd be.
I mean, like I think it'd be fun. I would be like that chick who she played softball for Oregon. I think that she always posted videos of her dancing and hitting off the tee. I was like,
yeah, Haley.
Yeah, that's me all the way.
Haley Cruz. You know, I really hope my dad's not listening still right now. I mean, he might go back and listen. I really don't know. But it's like I said last week when we were listening, that just for like the shock factor, I would definitely walk up to Slob on My Knob by 3-6 Mafia.
I remember you saying that last week. Yeah.
At least one time.
Like how, Megan says Cole Calhoun walking out to Dr. Dre. I mean,
what Dre
Josh
song
Donaldson walked out to Nothing But a G Thing.
Yes.
Which was awesome. I thought that was great.
And Dansby's been doing Welcome to Atlanta by Jermaine Dupri forever.
Yeah, he's doing he's got They Know by Shoddy Low, The Recession by Jeezy.
Yeah.
Like Dansby's had a lot of good ones. I'm a big fan.
Haley Cruz is babe.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
We like her over here.
She's dating a Dodgers player who just got
I'm not
signed.
gonna lie, my ultimate softball simp is always gonna be Jenny Finch. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Can't blame you there.
The first time I saw Jenny Finch pitch, I was like 11 years old, and I'm like, that's the hottest woman I've ever seen in my life.
Let's see. I'm scrolling through here before we go through the scores, kind of looking to see if there's any other big news. JT Real Muto had a 3-run shot. They're talking about Cakes' walk-off. They're talking about Eloy Jimenez getting tangled up in the net on Yelich inside the park home run. That's all I really see. So let's go through the scores. We can talk about anything that's fun happening here. It looks like everything pretty much is final except for the Brewers White Sox is 8-2. Oh no, that would be final then. They're middle of the ninth. No, White Sox got a bat. Yeah. Headed to the bottom of the ninth in Chicago. 8-2 Brewers. Pirates beat the Twins 6-5. Rockies beat the Giants 6-4. Rangers went down to the A's 6-4. Mariners went down to the Angels 6-1. The Phillies beat the Yankees 5-4. The Indians put a hurting on the Reds 13-0. The D-backs beat the Astros 5-4. The Royals beat the Cubs 13-2. Braves beat the Blue Jays. We talked about that one at the top of the show. 4-3 off of Nick Markakis walk-off. The Marlins topped the Orioles 8-7. The Marlins have only lost one game. What the fuck kind of world are we living in right now?
Well, I mean, they were also out for a while, so.
I know. I think there's something wrong here. The Matrix is broken. I don't like it. They should not have, what are they, 6-1 now? Is that right? 6-1?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Justin Pell said in the comments he'd walk out to Cold by Zabulba. If you've never listened to that band, you should listen to it. They're hard as fucking nails. That's all I got to say about that.
He would walk out to what?
Cold by Zabulba. It's the name of the band.
Is it like metal?
Yes.
Yeah. I gathered as much.
Oh, okay. I saw the two separate comments, and I was like, what the hell?
What's the name of the song? What's the name of the band? That's a fuck.
Ryan, no, the commissioner is not stopping the season. If you are violating COVID protocol, you are at risk of being banned for the rest of the season.
Holy shit. He commented like an hour and a half late.
Yeah, he did. We're way past that topic.
Yeah. We covered COVID like literally an hour and 40 minutes ago.
Absolutely. So let's go through the standings now. At the end of the day, of course, we're going to have like the Brewers unless the White Sox have the most badass comeback in the bottom of the ninth here. The Brewers are going to beat them. So let's take a look and see what we got going on here. American League Central Division, the Twins are on top with a 10-3 record. The White Sox are in second with a 7-5 record, putting them 2.5 games back. The Indians are 8-6. They're also 2.5 games back. The Tigers have a 500 record with 5-5. They're 3.5 games back. And the Royals have a 4-10 record. They are 6.5 games back. How's that division looking to you guys? I mean, obviously the Twins look like the favorite. Do we have anybody that we think might come back?
The White Sox.
They could do it. Like the White Sox.
I've been saying this. That's my dark horse in MLB this year.
No, I agree. I have friends
that
are super big on the White Sox. That
Megan, stop. We don't care in the comments. Twins aren't going all the way.
Megan's Twins all the way.
I'm gonna be honest. Megan
Inky says
right.
The Marlins have been playing the Orioles. Those wins shouldn't count.
No, they played the Phillies. I posted on Twitter today and said Vanderbilt could beat the Phillies and the fucking Orioles. Like that's Miami's tooting their horn. Like, oh, we got the best win percentage in baseball. Well, first of all, you've only played like 5 games. Second of all, you've played the Phillies and the fucking Orioles.
Win percentage doesn't mean shit when it comes down to how many games you played, who you've played, and especially when you're as far behind as you are.
Yeah. Ryan says, I missed the beginning. Sorry. Don't be late next time, Ryan. Don't be late. You miss things that way.
Okay, Ryan. I'll let it slide this time. I'm not letting it slide again next time.
Let's look over at the American League East. Yankees on top with a 9-3 record. I mean, how did they lose to the Phillies, though? That's pretty crazy.
I mean, it happens.
I mean, fuck, it happens.
It's baseball.
Yeah. The Orioles are at 5-7, and the Rays are at 5-7, both 4 games back from the Yankees. The Blue Jays are at 4-6. They're also 4 games back. And then the Red Sox are at 4-8, 5 games back from the Yankees. That kind of breaks my heart. Red Sox haven't been as much fun to watch this year. But, I mean,
Red Sox are ass.
Do we think the Red Sox, or not the Red Sox, do we think the Orioles, like, keep reverting back to their former selves?
I'm gonna tell you, in that division, it does not fucking matter what any of those teams do. The Yankees are winning the division. You could go ahead and call it right now. The Yankees won that division.
See, here's the funny thing, though. Like, if the standings, if they called the season today and said we're going straight to the playoffs, the fucking Orioles are in the playoffs.
Yeah, but look, how far are they going to
get smashed? Though.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely getting destroyed.
That's the thing. The 16-team playoff, whatever. I think it's fucking whack. I think it's fucking stupid. But the teams that do get in are going to get fucking smacked in the
They're
playoffs.
going to get rocked hard.
Yeah, that 3-game first.
I say that. Watch the Braves will probably play. I don't know, the fuck all Reds or somebody and get their fucking ass kicked in the first round like they always do. So.
Long suffering Braves fan.
We're not speaking that into existence this year. Okay, so let's go take a look over at the Western Division now. The A's with a 9-4 record. Did anybody see that one coming?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I told you 3 weeks ago it was going to happen. I did not tell you that.
I'm like,
I wish.
No.
I told you that I had to put money on it also.
You are. I know better to think you told me that. The only person I hear singing the A's praises is Dallas Braden, and God bless him. Let's see.
Dallas Braden is the only A's fan I actually know.
I got in a Twitter fight with an A's fan one time because I said something about Mike Fiers.
They actually have. Oh, fuck Mike Fiers.
Well, I said something about it because it was when he got like caught up in the whole thing where he was messaging an underage
He's a
girl.
fucking pedo. Yeah, he's a pedo.
Yeah. I said something about Mike Fiers being a pedophile, and this A's fan came after me, and all the Astros fans in the world jumped on top of him, and I was like, I don't even have to worry about you. See you later. But that's the only A's fan I've ever seen. I don't know. I'm sure they exist somewhere. They're kind of like Joe and the mystery Mets fans.
Yeah. No. Hold on. There are Mets fans because during the Braves-Mets series, I was posting Mets trash on the timeline, and there was Mets fans showing up out of nowhere in my mentions. I was like, holy fuck, y'all exist?
I was like, I didn't know that.
I thought Joe just literally drove a truck around the country and watched the Mets, and that was like their only fan. Like, I didn't realize they actually had fans.
I met a Brewers fan in Carabas's mentions one day, and he's really cool. I think he watches the show sometimes.
Brewers fans are cool.
I've never met a Brewers fan before.
No, they're hella tight. So I went to a Brewers game last year in Milwaukee, and like I had a Braves hat on and everything, and I go in, and there's like 4 people sitting behind me. It's 2 older couples. They're probably in like their 60s, 70s, and they're like, "Hey, sir, you're a Braves fan?" I was like, "Yeah." It turns out most of the Brewers fans are still also Braves fans because the Braves are in Milwaukee for so long. Yep. So there are Brewers fans. Shout out to the Brewers fans because they're fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
They treated me really well when I was in Milwaukee. So
I had never met a Brewers fan until I was having a conversation with this guy in Carabas's mentions, and I was like, "This is fucking cool!" Like,
I love the Brewers. Like, I lived in Wisconsin for a while growing up, and because of that, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and I like the Brewers. So,
well, see, like, I lived in Chicago, and I would go to Milwaukee, and I never saw, like, I would see Packers fans and stuff all over the place. I would never see Brewers fans anywhere. It was always kind of weird to me. So we've got, let's see, we'll go ahead and move on. Now that we know there are A's fans, or there was at least one at some point in time, other than Dallas Braden. Astros 6-6, 500 record, 2.5 games back. Angels 5-8, 4 games back. Mariners 5-9. 4.5 games back. The Rangers 3-8, 5 games back. I never thought that the Mariners would not be in last place in that division.
I like Malik Smith. That's the only reason I like the Mariners.
Megan,
I don't know if y'all remember when Malik Smith played for the Braves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malik is awesome. That's the only reason. That's literally the only Mariners player I know. So
let's see. Megan says the A's had a really good season last year. I just didn't really ever hear anything about it. Like, I think they like flew under the radar with it.
Hey, is Billy Bean still there, boy?
I have no idea.
From Moneyball?
Yeah, that's not. I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck. Never mind. I just watched Moneyball like 2 nights ago. That's why.
I love that movie. Megan also said that Haley Cruz's boyfriend got drafted to the Brewers, which is, I said that earlier. That's true. And they all flew out there together, and he signed his papers. I can't remember who he played for, though, who he got drafted from.
See, and I guess I should have.
Hey, no, I was right.
What? You were right about what?
Billy Bean is the executive president of baseball operations. It's the executive president for baseball operations of the Oakland Athletics.
Well, there you go.
I was right.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
I thought it was. I had to Google that one just to make sure. But
Megan, I forgot. I knew this as soon as I looked down. Megan grew up in North Cal and liked the A's over the Giants for obvious reasons. Totally forgot about that. Inky says Mets fans only exist for the 2.5 weeks before they are eliminated from the playoffs.
True.
We need to have Inky on the show sometime. Inky needs to come.
He's not gonna come on the show. He's gonna wear like a bandana over his face the whole time.
We'll just put like a
Have you never seen? He posted a chug in one of my chug threads.
I missed it.
He has a bandana on and like literally drinks the beer under the bandana.
You know what we can do, Inky? You should come on the show, and what we'll do is we'll turn your video off, but we'll just have like your picture for the video be Inky.
Oh, by the way, I'm doing a chug thread from the Easy Out podcast Twitter account tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're gonna have the chug thread up.
Does that mean I have to join?
Yeah, make sure you're following the podcast page so you catch that chug thread. Let's see. National League. Let's look at the National League standings. Cubs on top of the Central with a 10-3 record. Is this 2006?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How have I missed this? The Cubs are 10-3.
The Cubs are 10-3.
Who the fuck plays for the Cubs other than Chris Bryant, Rizzo, and Jason Hayward?
That's about it.
About it.
Is John Lester still with the Cubs?
Is he? I don't even like.
Nobody knows. Who knows?
Nobody knows anything because the Cubs are another one of those. Nobody has any idea how they're doing unless they're a Cubs fan. Brewers are in
Well,
second.
are they the first of 10 wins? I haven't heard of another team getting 10 wins yet.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, they are.
Damn. Well, go Cubs. Go Cubs, go.
Cubs have got they've got a 769 winning percentage. Brewers are in second place with a 4-5 record. Cardinals have a 2-3 record. Both of those teams are 4 games back from the Cubs.
I was going to say they're like 4 or 5 games back now.
Yeah, the Reds have a 5-8 record. They're 5 games back, and the Pirates have a 3-10 record, and they're 7 games back. Whoo, not a good time to be a Pittsburgh fan.
Could you imagine being 7 games back and you've only played like 12 games? 13
Right.
games?
I'm saying that coming into today, the Pirates have played 12 games and they're 8 games back.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Oh my God.
How does that happen?
It's hard to do baseball math in a 60-game season.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. Like baseball math is so weird anyway. Like,
No, I've told people this for years. You have got to go to fucking college for like an advanced level of mathematics degree to know what the fuck you're talking about baseball statistics.
100%, I agree with that. Sabermetrics is one of it can be easy to understand, but then you get into like the super advanced stats, and I'm like,
that's why I like baseballsavant.com, because I can look over there and they make a nice little graph with colors for me so I can tell if the player's doing good or bad.
yeah.
If it's blue, they suck. If it's red, they're really good. That's all I know.
that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to do it. So we're gonna look at the Eastern Division now. Marlins with their 6-1 bullshit record. Best winning
They're
percentage.
6-1? No, they lost 2 games, didn't they?
No, they're 6-1.
They haven't played in forever, so I don't see how that even counts.
It
They
doesn't.
play the Orioles and the fucking Phillies. Hey, it doesn't matter. The Braves get to play them in a few days. So.
Yeah, the Braves are 9-5, putting them a half game back, which is horse shit. The Nationals are 4-5, 3 games back. The Phillies are 3-4, 3 games back. The Mets are 5-8, 4 games back. Now, see, that seems more reasonable to be 4 games back this early in a season, but to be the Pirates,
8 games back.
that's just. What did we say over in the American League? Is there anybody?
Why
even
their whole fucking team should have opted out?
The Royals are 6.5 games back in the AL Central.
The Royals have won 2 games, haven't they? Or 3
Oh,
games?
the Twins do have 10 wins.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so the Twins and the Cubs, the Central Division leaders are killing it.
Cubs, yeah, I see that. Twins and Cubs only teams.
So over in the Western Division, the Rockies are 9-3.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are 9-4. They are a half a game back.
It's because the Dodgers suck.
I like seeing the Rockies on top of that division. The Padres 7-6, 2.5 games back. The Giants 6-8, 4 games back. The Diamondbacks 5-8, 4.5 games back.
Who have the Rockies played?
Who have the Rockies played? They played the Rangers. They're playing the Giants right now.
That's
Who else
why
have
the
they played in
Rockies
there?
have won so many games.
They lost to the Rangers on opening day. It's kind of sad.
So, the Rangers suck. The Giants
Megan's still saying, Megan's over here going, Twins are going to win. Megan,
I honestly
Woo.
like I will die on.
we're going to have a debate the next time we've got everybody on the show. It's going to get spicy.
Megan, I'm going to text you in a minute and cuss you out.
Sorry, Sorry, Erin. What were you saying?
I could see the Twins really going for it. Like they have the team.
Yeah,
They have the
absolutely.
talent. And they're one of the teams that consistently has performed to show that they could make it. I mean, they're coming out, they're hitting bombs this year just like they were last year.
It's going to be a Braves-Yankees World Series.
I called the Braves-Yankees World Series too, and
I'm calling it Braves-Yankees World Series.
I
don't want a Braves Yankees World Series, but I also don't want like a Braves Twins World Series because that would be an absolute moral dilemma for me on the Josh Donaldson front.
Come on, Sarah.
I would be cheering for the Braves, but at the same time, if we lost and Josh Donaldson got a ring, I'd kind of be over there like,
Sarah.
Don't be happy. Don't be happy.
Sarah.
super close to the mic for this.
Sarah. Come on, Sarah.
it'd be hard not to be happy for him.
You're making me second guess being on this podcast.
I'd be really happy for Josh Donaldson. I wouldn't be happy that the Twins won. But you know what that would do? Like if we're talking Braves Yankees World Series, Braves Twins World Series, like that gives me hardcore flashbacks to early 90s and
90s,
panic attacks ensue because I just think
back when baseball was good.
Yeah, like I think about like
back when the Braves won the World Series every year and lost.
Yeah,
back in my childhood.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the Braves losing to the Twins. I'm thinking about the Braves losing to the Blue Jays. I'm thinking about the Braves losing to the Yankees, and it kind of gives me panic attacks. And I don't know that I want to see that happen. I would love for
Ryan said Red Sox Pirates World Series in 10 years. It's going to have to be 10 years. They could probably play like the World Series of the shittiest teams this year.
10 years. I think 10 years is pushing it a little bit. Like,
yeah, they're going to.
That's happening. The Pirates rebuild is going to take a very, very, very long time, judging by the looks of things right now. So do we have any final thoughts for the evening? We've been on here for almost 2 hours tonight.
Yeah, we've been killing it tonight.
We got all kinds of stuff going on. Oh, Erin, what'd you say? I can't hear you now.
We've just been talking.
Yeah. Anybody got any parting words of wisdom from either of you?
There should not be a salary cap in baseball. Somebody just said that to me, and I don't agree with it.
No.
My parting words: if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
Inky's party words are that Ryan is on peyote for thinking that is going to happen.
Yeah, I love Inky.
Inky is wonderful. God bless Inky. My parting words would be welcome back, Nick Markakis.
Yes, ma'am.
Go Braves. Everybody go to the Patreon. Check us out over there. You can find us on Instagram at Podcast Easy Out because somebody fucked up my shit and took the podcast name before I could get to it. Facebook, Easy Out Podcast. The Patreon is patreon.com/Easy Out Podcast. The Twitter is Easy Out Podcast. I try to make this as simple as possible for all of you guys. Go check us out on all the social channels. Remember, you can find us every week on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Periscope, on Facebook Live. You can watch the show, or not watch the show. You can listen to the show after it airs on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer, anywhere you get your podcast from. So make sure you go check us out. Leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. Hit that follow button over on Spotify. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yee!
Bye.
Face away from me, this ain't a game like monkey in the middle. Stop trying to solve me like a puzzle, look, I'm not a riddle. She tried to play me, but she doesn't know I'm not a fiddle. Draw me close, but won't keep it straight with me, all she know is scribble. I still pop like soda cans, on the other hand, you stay popping my bubble, don't know how to act. That type of move that you deal, is what kills on the real. It just works how I feel, so disturbing at will. Looking for it's like an intersection with a stop sign. Saying I don't have it in me, also not in my prime. Going too hard in the paint all over you, what's the prime? You don't have any gas left in the tank, I know I got drive. People try to put me in the box and I'm like, free me. I see your cold shoulder, it is